Alexander, Alex Harrington, had always been the picture of success. At 32, he was a rising star in the tech industry, leading a startup that specialized in innovative software solutions for Fortune 500 companies. His days were filled with board meetings, networking events, and the occasional lavish weekend getaway. His fiancée, Emily Sinclair, a 30-year-old marketing executive with a flair for the dramatic, complemented his life perfectly. Or so he thought. They met at a high society gala 2 years ago, where her stunning looks and sharp wit had captivated him. Their engagement was the talk of their social circle, a diamond ring that sparkled under every light, plans for a destination wedding in the Maldives, and endless Instagram posts showcasing their perfect life. But life has a way of shattering illusions. It was a rainy evening, exactly 1 month before their wedding. Alex was driving home from a late-night investor pitch, his mind buzzing with excitement about closing a major deal. He didn't see the truck swerve into his lane until it was too late. The crash was a blur of screeching metal, shattering glass, and excruciating pain. When he woke up in the hospital, the doctors delivered the verdict, a spinal cord injury that left him paralyzed from the waist down. He'd need a wheelchair permanently, they said at first. Surgery, therapy, and a long road to recovery lay ahead. But the immediate reality was devastating. His career on hold, his social status diminished, his once athletic body betrayed. In those first weeks, everything that had once mattered felt trivial. The corner office with the city view, the designer suits, the gym sessions that kept him in peak form, all of it paled against the stark hospital room and the sterile smell of antiseptics. Alex clung to one thread of hope, Emily. She visited sporadically. At first, her smiles forced her touches hesitant. "We'll get through this," she'd say. But her eyes betrayed a flicker of doubt. He imagined their wedding photos, him in a tailored tuxedo, propped up in a chair, her radiant in white. It would be different, but love would prevail, wouldn't it? To help with his transition home, Alex hired Sophia Ramirez, a 28-year-old caregiver from a local agency. Sophia was originally from Mexico, having moved to the U.S. a decade ago to support her family back home. With her warm brown eyes, practical demeanor, and a quiet strength honed from years of nursing elderly patients, she quickly became indispensable. She helped him with daily tasks, bathing, dressing, maneuvering the wheelchair, always with a gentle encouragement. "One day at a time, Mr. Harrington," she'd say in her soft accent. Alex barely noticed her at first. She was just help, but as the days blurred into weeks, her presence became a subtle anchor in his storm. The wedding day arrived like a cruel joke. They had scaled it down to a private ceremony at Alex's sprawling suburban home, accommodating his condition. The backyard was decorated with white roses and fairy lights, a string quartet ready to play. Alex sat in his wheelchair at the makeshift altar, dressed in a crisp suit, his heart pounding with a mix of nerves and anticipation. Emily arrived late, her entrance dramatic as always. She glided in wearing a flowing lace gown that hugged her figure, a veil cascading down her back. For a moment, Alex's breath caught. She looked like a vision. But as she approached, her expression hardened. No tears of joy, no loving gaze. Instead, she stopped a few feet away, her hands clenched around the bouquet. "Alex," she began, her voice cold and measured. "I can't do this." The words hung in the air like a guillotine. The quartet fell silent. Sophia, who had been discreetly arranging chairs in the background, froze. "What do you mean?" Alex stammered, his world tilting again. Emily's eyes narrowed, devoid of pity or compassion, only anger and disappointment. "Look at you. You're weak, broken. I didn't sign up for this. Pushing you around in that chair for the rest of my life, watching you struggle just to get out of bed. No, I deserve better. We had plans, travel adventures, a life of excitement. Not this." Her words sliced through him, each one a deeper wound than the accident itself. She accused him of ruining their future, of not fighting hard enough, as if his paralysis was a personal failing. Alex sat there, stunned, his mind reeling. He wanted to scream, to beg, but the words wouldn't come. Emily turned on her heel, the veil whipping behind her, like a flag of surrender. She stormed out, slamming the front door with a force that echoed through the house. The bouquet lay discarded on the floor, petals scattered like shattered dreams. Along with it went the illusion of his old life, the glamour, the superficial bonds. Sophia, who had witnessed the entire scene from the shadows, couldn't contain her outrage. She stepped forward, her face flushed with indignation. "How dare you?" she said, her voice steady, but laced with contempt. She glared at the door Emily had just exited, as if willing her words to pierce through it. "He's worth 1,000 of you. Weak, you're the one running away." Alex looked up at her, surprised by the fire in her eyes, a fire he couldn't muster himself. In that moment, something shifted. He realized he hadn't lost love. He'd lost someone who never truly felt it. Emily's departure wasn't a tragedy. It was a revelation. The year that followed was a grueling battle for redemption. Alex threw himself into rehabilitation with a determination he didn't know he possessed. His days became a regimented routine, physical therapy sessions at the clinic, where therapists pushed him to his limits with exercises that sent waves of pain through his body. Morning started with stretching on a mat, his legs unresponsive at first, like dead weights. Afternoons involved electrical stimulation to awaken dormant nerves, each zap a reminder of his fragility. Evenings were for hydrotherapy, floating in a pool that offered temporary freedom from gravity's pull. The physical pain was relentless muscles screaming in protest joints, aching from overuse. But it was the mental toll that nearly broke him. Nightmares replayed the accident, Emily's words echoing in his mind like a taunt. Friends drifted away, their visits tapering off as his condition became too depressing. His startup handed over to a colleague, though he consulted remotely when he could focus. Self-doubt crept in. Was he truly weak, as Emily had said? Would he ever walk again? Sophia became his lifeline. Beyond caregiving, she evolved into a confidant. During breaks in therapy, they'd talk in the sunlit kitchen over coffee. She shared her own stories of leaving her village in Mexico after her father's death, working odd jobs to send money home, facing discrimination, but never backing down. "Life tests us, Alex," she'd say, "but it also shows us who we really are." Her words weren't empty platitudes. They were forged from experience. She encouraged him on bad days, celebrating small victories, like when he first lifted his foot an inch off the ground. Gradually, Alex opened up about Emily, the betrayal, the emptiness. Sophia listened without judgment, her empathy a balm. There were setbacks. One particularly brutal session left him in tears, convinced he'd never improve. "Why bother?" he muttered, slumped in his wheelchair. Sophia knelt beside him, her hand on his arm. "Because you're not doing this for her. You're doing it for you. And look how far you've come already." Her unwavering support ignited a spark. He began to redefine strength, not as physical prowess or social clout, but as resilience, vulnerability, and growth. Months blurred into a rhythm of progress. Sensation returned in tingling waves to his legs. He graduated from the wheelchair to crutches for short distances, each step a Herculean effort. The pain mingled with triumph. Every wobble was a step toward independence. Alex also rediscovered passions, sidelined by his old life, reading philosophy, sketching ideas for new apps, even volunteering virtually for disability advocacy groups. He wasn't the man Emily had left behind. He was evolving into someone better. Then, on a crisp autumn morning, exactly 1 year after the wedding, that never was, the breakthrough came. Alex woke early, the sun filtering through his bedroom curtains. Sophia was in the kitchen, preparing breakfast, the aroma of fresh coffee wafting in. He swung his legs over the bed's edge, a routine he'd mastered. But today felt different. Gripping the bed frame, he pushed up his muscles, protesting, but complying. He let go, balancing on his own. Then tentatively, he took a step. Slow, unsteady, like a toddler's first. Another followed. His heart raced as he crossed the room 5 steps, then 10, without aid. Tears streamed down his face, not from pain, but from pure exhilaration. He called out to Sophia, who rushed in, her eyes widening in disbelief. "Look," he whispered, taking another step toward her. She beamed, pulling him into a hug that felt like home. In that embrace, Alex knew he'd found something real, not the fleeting glamour of his past, but a bond built on shared struggles and genuine care. Alex Harrington was no longer the broken man in the wheelchair. He was stronger, freer, and truly alive. The accident had taken much, but it had given him clarity. True love isn't about appearances or ease. It's about standing or stepping together through the storm. And, as he looked ahead with Sophia by his side, the future stretched out like an open path, ready for his steady strides.